Hello, Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video, where we talk about digital marketing strategies and tactics to help grow your business. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I really think, especially over the holiday weekend, for those of you, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and are enjoying a exciting Cyber Monday as we record this episode today. One of the things I think that is really interesting is there's a couple of things that have happened over the last several weeks that I think really gives us a peek to what's going to be the success in 2020 when it comes to your marketing efforts. And today I want to take a deep dive into the 7 ways to leverage the 20-second micro video to smash your 2020 marketing efforts. So, I mean, here's the thing, guys. The truth of the matter is our attention span has been hacked. Right? We are so overly stimulated by content on our phones, by, content as our streaming options for video and audio. We all have a crazy heightened level of, digital content hyperactivity. So one of the things that I've really noticed, and maybe you guys have noticed it too, if you're watching YouTube, you'll notice that some ads come on and it says you can skip this ad and it starts to count down, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what's happening there is YouTube has a product called preroll. And with that product, you can put a video in front of people who, are watching either content similar to the video content that they're looking at, or you can trigger that information or trigger that video off of search content that they've done on Google's platform on their text-based query platform, right? Where you just go into Google and you type in, where's the nearest whatever, or how do I, carve a turkey, whatever you're searching for, you can then trigger your ad content based on that. One of the things though that I've noticed is that a lot of these ads, they're done really poorly because, again, I think that the ad creative is built around this sort of, linear TV commercial where you have 30 seconds, to tell your whole story. And so you're trying to build up your case to take action, which comes at the end of the video or of the spot, if you will. And that's a problem because with pre-roll, you don't have that as an option. You literally have 5 seconds to catch my attention. So you almost have to lead with the punchline. You can't wait to deliver the call to action or answer the question of what your product or service, what it solves, how it makes life better. You have to do that up front. And so I think that if you can't make your point in the first 3 seconds and really get my attention, you're not winning. Not to mention the 20-second micro video, which is the point I'm going to make. So those videos that you can actually skip are not the pre-roll videos. Those are just the generic video, where you can have, long format, whatever the time, doesn't matter. But the pre-roll, and this is kind of number 1 of the 7 ways to really leverage the 20-second micro video, is start practicing and recording. And we're already doing this in real life. I mean, look at what's happening on Snapchat, that started in late 2017, really started picking up, steam in 2018 and is alive and thriving in 2019. And I think we're starting to see sort of the spin-off, the new shiny tool or the new shiny platform in TikTok, with this 20-second, short, video clip component. So if you can't make that, make your state your point and get it across quickly in that micro format, I think you're really missing the opportunity. So number 1 is understanding that the YouTube pre-roll, 20-second is a magical number, because you have to be under that in order to have the proper format to run those kind of ads. And then within that, you need to make sure that as you're thinking about the creative, don't try to put, the aha moment at second 17. You need to reverse engineer that and start off with, hey, we can solve your back pain, right? You just come right out with it instead of, just drawn out, hi, I hope that you are, excited to use, whatever the case is. So that's what's really key, I think, is to understand what that 20 seconds is and why it's so important. Number two is, here's another thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and I want to say that in their Q3 report, Facebook, started talking about how they're going to really put more emphasis on the stories, the aspect of stories. And so you've probably noticed that on the Facebook app. I mean, obviously on Instagram, stories have been, alive and thriving in a very popular way that we go and we tap on our friends and we watch their stories, right? We want these little micro moments of our friends and families' lives, and we want to see them in that real moment, right? Those micro moments. And so, Facebook has put these, almost these cards that look like, rounded edges, kind of like a little phone, and they've got them, right across the top of your feed. I think that's a real indication of the direction. They've already stated that on the ad platform, in this year alone, they've got over $7 million in ads that have been placed in the stories format. And so I think that, that's just a sign of things to come, is that, through stories, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to continue to see that platform open up for different types of ad units. And it's because the demand of that kind of content is being consumed at a higher rate than any other feed content other than the messaging, application of the platform. So that's the other sort of, platform extension of how you need to really go in and think about, quickly getting to your point. Now, the other thing that when we talk about the 20-second micro video format is really thinking about moving away from and just dropping the slick, high produced, content. We all hate marketing, right? I mean, we just hate being marketed to. We would much rather just someone come up and be like, hey, here it is. This is what we're talking about, in just a conversational, very frank, way. And so when you drop the high-end, high-polished and go with the more, organic, authentic, the point is, I need to be able to see your face. I need to be able to hear what you're saying. And that's pretty much it. Everything else, it doesn't really matter if, if I've got a scratch that, my cat gave me over the weekend, or, all of that stuff, being perfectly made up and my hair's all done and, all those things, like that's not what, what we gravitate to. We gravitate towards the authentic and the, hey, I just flipped my camera on. I'm like, I got to tell you guys something, So, that's number two, is really understanding that the stories in the platforms for Facebook and Instagram, are going to continue to surge in 2020. And the better you can, kind of eliminate the slick and, go authentic in this micro moment format, in this 20 seconds sort of slice, is key. Part B to that is you're going to have to increase the volume like 20x. Like if you think you can just do one, a day or one every couple of days, like you don't have enough volume. If you are especially if you have a personal brand, if you're a real estate person, or if you're a personal trainer, or if you're an individual that provides services like a CPA or a bookkeeper, or, if you provide pet sitting services, like if you're a service-based business and you, the individual, are providing the service, or you, the individual, or the sales representative, you need to increase the volume, and you need to do it at scale. So again, 2020 is the magic year of 20, whether it's 20 seconds, it is 20 seconds or less, and it's upping the volume 20x, like 20 times the amount of whatever you're doing now. Number 3, again, is really just kind of looking at understanding the signals that we've seen in 2018 and 2019, again, with, Snapchat just really taking off in 2018, TikTok starting to emerge here in the last quarter of 2019. We're going to continue to see that in 2020. And for those of you who don't know what TikTok is, it's very similar to, Snapchat, in that it's that short video, but you've got music that you can overlay. You've got augmented reality with, stamps and icons and different types of augmented reality elements that you can layer on top of the video. And we love that kind of stuff on our phones. Like, we love to see that sort of like, oh my gosh, like it's almost like magic, And so if you can really capture those magical moments and then use the platform to, sort of give it that, like augmented reality. I mean, that's something that really you need to understand, that those micro moments are a key piece of what 2020 is going to look like. And again, doesn't matter if you represent a marketing, if you're a marketing agency, or if you're a person with your own personal brand, those micro moments really matter. Number 4 is personal brand channels are going to continue to attract big national brand sponsors. So this is just really the evolution of influencer marketing. I know that from a sports standpoint, whether it's, NBA or NFL or, hockey or baseball or golf, there's this massive amount of, insight and content that's being produced by various insiders, enthusiasts, especially around the daily fantasy sports area. So all of these people have come up with, all these different tools that allow you to crunch the numbers and, sort of hack the contest so that you can, perform the best and take down, the millionaire maker. And they're producing all of these videos, right, on YouTube. And then what's happening is, people are starting to watch this, because you're not going to get this kind of content on broadcast TV. Like, it's funny, have you noticed, like, even on NFL Today, like, obviously we're in the middle of the NFL season, so even the broadcasters are starting to talk about daily fantasy sports, or DFS. And those, I literally saw this weekend, for the big Thanksgiving game, like, the NBC, CBS, they were like, here's our winning lineup that we've selected, right? Like, that's crazy that here's this, online gaming platform, which has now infiltrated mass television, and the producers of this content, are talking about. So my point is that you're seeing this on, they're creating these YouTube videos, and then, they're getting subscribers because no one else is producing the content. So we're really early, we're only probably a year, maybe 18 months into, these content publishers. And I've literally seen guys go from, a couple hundred subscribers to like 10,000 to 15,000. And then what happens is big brands like DraftKings and, the platforms that, you can actually go and place bets and participate on the platform, they're giving money to be the sponsor of that show. And we're going to continue to see that, as people start to leverage. I mean, here's the other kind of flip side to the, the gig economy that will continue to grow in 2020, where we're going to have 46% of the workforce in America is going to be powered by the gig economy, meaning that people are going to leverage what they know about, what they're passionate about, their assets, whether it's their vehicle or their home with Airbnb and Lyft, or, they're going to use just their passion for sports and analytics. And they're going to get on platforms, whether that's hitting the streets or hitting apps or hitting YouTube. And they're going to be able to leverage that for income opportunity as people look for creative ways to earn more money. So, I think that with personal brands, these channels, and as they attract the bigger brands, the reason why it happens is because these people have a built-in trust, right? They've been publishing content on a weekly basis. They've been giving analytical data based on what their projections are for the coming week. And so you're seeing that. So I think that personal brand channels really are huge. And I believe that brands that empower their own internal staff to encourage them to create content and publish it, to demonstrate their expertise in their field and publish that only helps lift the organizational brand for that company, right? So that's number 4. Number 5 is interactive elements within the video or stories to really key on the action. In other words, like put in polls or put in quizzes, things that you can do within these stories or whatever the unit is, if you will, or the platform that you are, that allows you, because guys, we're obsessed with our phones, right? And anything we can do on our phones, whether it's swipe or, take, quizzes or whatever, we're obsessed with that. So again, that type of interactivity or interactive elements is going to be huge. Number 6 is to really, you got to understand, the fact of the matter is there's a lot of discussion, rightfully so, about privacy. Fact of the matter is we will sacrifice our privacy for convenience every day. That is just the nature of who we are. Now, are there people that fight against that day in and day out? Absolutely. There are those truthers. But the majority will gladly sacrifice, privacy in order to be able to have it right now, have it delivered tomorrow, or have it delivered same day. We will gladly say, yes, you can access my location. You can access, all of that kind of information. So just understand, and if that's the case, then really think about reducing any friction, reducing any obstacle. Like if it's more than 3 clicks for me to check out or for me to sign up or for me to, enroll, whatever that action point is, you need to simplify that. You must reduce that friction because, again, anything that's convenient based is going to be key in 2020. Number 7 is, and all of this builds on the top of, we are going to continue to demand and consume content in our own personal preferences. I was just, traveling, and I was at my mom's. I grew up in Houston, Texas, and was visiting my family. I haven't been there in almost 10 years, and it was great visiting family while I was there. And I opened up Netflix, and obviously they opened up her Netflix channel, and I went to go sign out. Why did I do that? I signed out because all of the things that recommended for my mom are totally different than me, right? Like they're not the same shows. So all of these platforms and all these channels and the way we are consuming videos and audio and music, it's all based on what I like. Right. And so if you understand that, you've got to personalize and contextualize your ad creative. We can no longer try to throw up this one size fits all marketing content, that really comes across as being served like vanilla ice cream, when the fact is there are 1,000 different combinations of ice cream that are out there. And it's actually quite easy to figure out what flavors your potential target audiences will respond to if you deploy creative, in a contextual content that's matched against the behavior of your target audience. So that last point, number 7, is publishing that, contextual, localized. In other words, you need to lay over the behavior. You need to layer over the geographical areas. Keep those things in mind. And then what are their behaviors? What kind of content are they consuming? And when you merge those things together to create your creative set versus that singular one piece of creative, that's going to continue to be key in 2020. So again, just to recap, how are you going to leverage the 20-second micro video to smash your 2020 marketing? And number 1, it starts with understanding that YouTube pre-roll 20-second videos have your message in 3 seconds or less. That's how you win on that platform. Number 2, Facebook and Instagram stories, making sure that you've got, dropping the slick, polished ads, increasing your content 20x. Number 3 is understand that the micro moments are really what we're trying to capture. And that's just building off of what we saw in Snapchat and in TikTok. And number 4, understand that personal brand channels are going to continue to attract larger national brands and the revenue opportunity because they offer built-in trust. Number 5, make sure that you introduce interactive elements into your units when applicable, whether it's polls or quizzes or questions or swipes or buttons or what have you, those interactive elements, because we're obsessed with our phones. Number 6, understand that we will sacrifice our privacy for convenience every time. And so you need to reduce the friction to your take action, whether it's signups, subscriptions, buy now, whatever your call to action is. And number 7, make sure that your creative is contextual, personalized, a geographical representation. Everything is layered in each one of these creative elements. Don't try to launch, this perfect, diverse single piece of creative and think that with one shot you're going to reach the varying amounts of interest of your target audience. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. My name is Michael Wynn. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. I hope you guys have a great week and tune in next time.